Hello everyone. Today we have with us Mr. Aditya Kondawar as our guest speaker for the podcast series. Welcome to the podcast, sir. Please allow me to introduce you. Aditya Kondawar is the co-founder and CEO at JST Investments. He has been featured several times at Economist Times, CNBC, Bloomberg, Business Line, and all other media outlets. So, welcome to the podcast, sir.
Hi, Siddharth. Thanks for having me, man.
Right, sir. So, to start with, could you give a brief background of yourself and tell me about yourself?
Sure. Just 1 minute. So, from a very young age, I was a very curious kid, right? So I still remember, so we as a family, we take a lot of road trips. So I remember vividly, जब मैं छोटा था, तो we used to travel by road a lot. We still do. So I had all of these logos memorized. So I remember looking at all of these trucks of Ashok Leyland and Hinduja Group, Tata. Reading all of these billboards of Amul, reading all of these billboards of NHAI. I used to maintain these books for myself. These were scrap books wherein, I used to cut out interesting images from newspapers. I used to research about them. So this curiosity has been there for a very long time in me from a very young age. Baki to, see, I did my, how do I say it? So I did my schooling from Pune. I have been living in hostels from a very young age. So I would say that, that also shaped me a lot. बाकी सब तो मैंने फाइनेंस में किया है. I did my bachelor's in financial markets, post which I worked with two investment banks. One was E-Clubs and then it was Credit Suisse. Post that, I really wanted to do something in equity research because that had been something which was always, it was piquing my interest. So I thought, चलो उसमें कुछ करते हैं. So when I was still working at Credit Suisse, right, I had gotten selected in PwC, as we all know, it's a big four. In fact, I had worked a lot for that specific interview, which had spanned across 2 to 3 weeks. But in the end, even though I got selected, I did not get the offer letter. So वो हुआ मेरे साथ. So then I took a hard look at my life. I thought that I don't have any skills. But I had been reading up a lot on investing. I had been writing also a bit on investing. So I thought let's take this interest forward. So in that span of 6 to 8 months, I read a lot. I wrote a lot. I became one of the top viewed writers on Quora. And then eventually I took up a master's course at this college of NISM, which is SEBI's own college. So I did a one-year master's course over there. It was a postgraduate degree in quantitative finance. And then, of course, equity was my interest. So then I did not sit in the college placements. Instead, I went for finding out equity research jobs on my own. And that's how I landed at my first equity research job at Samco Securities as a sell-side research analyst. And after that, I went to BP Wealth, where I was into institutional research, a buy-side research analyst of sorts. Now, ये सब के दौरान, I used to handle a few funds, a few crores of funds of my friends and family. And then I thought, let's take the plunge, let's start up on your own, because we have something going on over here as well, right? So why work for someone else? So I left my job, and then a couple of months later, the lockdown happened. Again, spent a lot of time reading, writing. Again, got a lot of traction on Twitter through this. Got like 20, 30, 40, 20, 30K followers on Twitter through all of these articles that I wrote. So there's a huge series of financial sector articles that I had written, from banks to NBFCs to housing finance companies. So every month I was just writing one article. I used to spend one month each on each of those companies, and then I used to write it. And then naturally, so I met my partners through Twitter as well. So Aditya Shah is the founder, and he's our CIO. Then we have Anish Mukha, he's the head of research, right? So we had been working a lot on and off on a lot of research projects together. We were also managing a few funds together. So then naturally, it was an extension that we all come together because we all had similar journeys. We had the exact same goals, exact same mindsets, and that is how JST was born. So that's a brief background about me. Yeah.
Right, sir. So you did quant finance from NISM. And I've seen a lot of my peers who have done like certain stock market courses. And so could you tell about NISM a bit more? Like how is it as an institution and what is the path we need to follow to enter NISM?
See, I mean, there's no path as such for you to enter NISM. I mean, for me, NISM experience was extremely pleasant. It was very nice. It is where I made a lot of connects. It is where I made a lot of friends whom I can call brothers today. So for me as a person coming to Bombay, coming to NISM, it changed me as a person because I saw a lot of different perspectives. So this very famous quote of Bombay that the city never sleeps, right? I mean, as filmy as it sounds, it is absolutely true. Coming from a place like Pune to Bombay literally shifted my mindset. It exposed me to a lot of amazing people whom I still work with or am in contact with. Taki, see, it's a very general question because NISM does offer a lot of certification courses, and sometimes these certification courses are necessary for you to function as a market intermediary. For example, research analyst का module होता है, investment advisor का module होता है. So those are सभी mandatory certifications for you to play those roles as an intermediary in the market. बाकी कॉलेज की बात करूँ तो again it entirely depends on what course interests you. So the DQF program has been discontinued by them. There's a 2-year MBA, and yeah, that's about it. I mean, one can really look at the courses and see if it is really interesting to them. And again, all of that aside, no degree, no certification, nothing will actually prepare you for the markets. It is your own market experience that is the most supreme, right? So market is the ultimate teacher. If you're trying to find out a multi-bagger making a formula or idea through certifications or courses, let me tell you that you're absolutely wrong. वो आपको कुछ भी नहीं, कोई भी नहीं सिखाएगा, वो आपको खुद सीखना है मार्केट में रह के. You have to face losses, you have to face gains, you have to face volatility, you have to see uncertainty in the market, and that's how you learn and that's how you make money in the market. As simple as that.
Right, sir. So let's start this podcast. So to start with, I want to make this podcast a go-to strategy for 19, 20-year-old who can implement that in personal finance. So whenever we talk about strategies, we talk about CEO strategy, cost cutting, earning more, and optimizing your savings or whatever that is. So could you talk about the first step, that is budgeting, as a college student? So yeah, how should we track our expenses and how to develop that mindset that we need to save and enjoy at the same time?
So it's a very interesting question because I think I was 20 when I got my first salary, and I invested it fully in the stock markets. Okay, so I took a lot of risk with my money because I wanted to be rich. As simple as that. I will not mince my words. Ush time pe financial condition wasn't that great in my family, so money was my only objective. Making money, multiplying money was my only objective. In fact, even when I was in college in 2012 to 15, when I was pursuing my bachelor's, I was constantly trying to put money in IPOs or try to get new IPOs so that I can double my money or I can get 50% gains on my money, right? Baki that aside, so this CEO strategy is very interesting. So सबसे पहले, what we usually do, the moment we get our first salary, we tend to spend it all because it's the first salary, right? It's extremely important. It's a very important milestone in your life, right? So you tend to spend it, you tend to overextend yourself and that, right? But I had put this out long back that what you do with the first salary determines how you will end up with life. ठीक है, आप उसको पूरा स्पेंड करते हो या आप उसको कंजर्वेटिवली सेव करते हो, इन्वेस्ट करते हो, थोड़ा लिक्विड रखते हो. सो द मोमेंट यू गेट योर फर्स्ट सैलरी, आई वुड से सबसे पहले आप एंजॉय करो, ऑफ कोर्स, बिकॉज यू डिजर्व इट. यू हैव मेड इट सो फार and you have to make it a lot further as well. But you enjoy the money, you keep aside a part of the money, ठीक है, and you invest a part of it as well. ठीक है, see, money only makes money, right? As simple as that. So you have to instill that discipline of growing your money from the very first info that you get. ऐसा नहीं बोलना है आपको कि यार मेरे को सिर्फ 5,000 रुपए की सैलरी मिली है, आई एम जस्ट 18 नाउ, सो मैं पूरा उड़ा देता हूँ. अब अगर मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट भी करूंगा तो कितना मिल जाएगा? See, मार्केट में कितना इन्वेस्ट करना इज नॉट द ऑब्जेक्टिव. द होल ऑब्जेक्टिव इज टू इंस्टिल दैट डिसिप्लिन. अगर आप 5,000 रुपए भी इन्वेस्ट नहीं कर रहे हो तो जब आपको 5 लाख मिलेंगे बाद में आप वो भी इन्वेस्ट नहीं करोगे. सो यू हैव टू इंस्टिल दैट डिसिप्लिन फ्रॉम द वेरी फर्स्ट इनफ्लो कि मैं ये फंड को ब्रेक डाउन करूंगा. सबसे पहले आई विल सेव, आई विल इन्वेस्ट, एंड देन जो बचा है आई विल एक्सपेंस इट. एज सिंपल एज दैट. बाकी दूसरा, you talked about optimization, and you talked about improving your income. See, I mean, for you young guys, of course I'm young, but kaisa hai ki thanks to internet there are so many opportunities available today. So use that to the fullest. अगर आपकी कोई skill है which is not necessarily related to your job, showcase that. If your skill is writing, showcase that. Write on Quora, write on Twitter, write your blog, write on Substack, write on LinkedIn. If your skill is making videos, then do that. YouTube karo, Instagram karo, kuch bhi karo. If you're artistic, put it out in front of the world, and kabhi na kabhi koi na koi darwaza to khulega, right? As simple as that. बाकी तीसरा optimization, like I said, the moment you get a salary, don't spend first and then save first and then spend. ठीक है, because it is the correct discipline to have. क्योंकि हमेशा पैसा बचेगा नहीं, दैट्स सो श्योरिटी, क्योंकि कोई ना कोई नया खर्चा तो आते ही रहता है. सो सेव फर्स्ट, सेव करो, इन्वेस्ट करो एंड देन स्पेंड करो. सो दैट वे यू tweak your expenses. In the first instance, you tweak your savings, so savings will not get hit.
Right, sir. So now let's move to different investment options. Like we have equity, and under that we have IPO investment, and then we have crypto now, NFTs and all that. So like if someone has in their college have saved some money through internships or pocket money or something, they have a 1 lakh portfolio. So how should they invest that 1 lakh in the most like optimized way?
देखो यार,
What should be their
again,
strategy?
yeah, so every individual is different. Everyone's risk appetite, goals, asset allocation, income, expenses, the stomach to digest those volatility, सब कुछ different होता है. Every person is unique in a true sense. But I will give you my example. अगर मैं होता तो मैं पूरा equity में डाल देता, as simple as that, जो कि मैंने किया है. When I was at that age, I did everything in equity. In fact, today also majority of my asset allocation is into equity. बाकी क्रिप्टो तो I do not understand how do I ascribe a fundamental value to it कि बिटकॉइन तो 50 लाख का ही है, 60 लाख का ही है. So how do I ascribe that value? I do not know. So I'm not going to comment on that. Equity is the way to wealth creation. ठीक है, if you are an equity owner, then you have a chance at creating wealth. ठीक है. बाकी इक्विटी में कैसा है कि that is a high risk high return game. ठीक है, volatility भी आएगी बहुत ज्यादा, and you have to digest that because the market is also trying to give you that returns. Whenever we talk about the compounding formula, right, it is P plus P bracket में 1 plus R raised to N. So everybody talks about that rate of return that you're going to get on your investments. Nobody talks about that N number of years. So as a young person, you have the advantage of time with you. आप invest करो, कोई problem नहीं है. You sit, let your investment stay there for a long period of time, given that everything is fundamentally sound in your portfolio, and it will create a lot of wealth. Again, personally speaking, because I started off from a very young age.
Also, sir, could you list some of the tools that you use at a like professional level in the portfolio management? How students can use those tools and implement it directly?
So see, we at JST do a lot of primary research because, of course, we are fund managers. We take care of money, and it is always important to have your own investment philosophy, number one, because our investment philosophy is something why people pay us in the first place. So we rely on a lot of exchanges, BSE India website, NSE India website. We rely a bit on Screener as well, जहाँ पे कंपनी का सारा प्राइमरी डेटा आता है. So companies have to post quarterly results, half yearly balance sheet, cash flows, then yearly annual reports. अगर कोई con call है तो उसको intimate. If there is a conference call, they have to intimate to the exchanges and the investor community at large that there's going to be a con call. So we go join these con calls. We ask questions to the management. We listen to the management on TV. अगर कोई event है management का तो वो भी attend करते हैं हम लोग. We go to factories as well. We talk to the ground level stakeholders, employees, suppliers, etc., etc., and that is how we form a complete view of the company. यहाँ पे कैसा है कि the main rule is to rely as much as you can on primary data, because primary data is unfiltered. It is the truth. It is the fact. As simple as that.
Great, sir. Also, can you delve a bit deeper on risk management in the whole equity space? Whenever we talk about risk, so people say that you should diversify. So what should be the ratio in equities only if you are investing?
देखो यार, इसमें कैसा है ना, some people have just 2 to 3 stocks and they have crores of rupees of allocation to these stocks each. Then some people have 100 to 200 stocks. Some people have 50 to 20 stocks. Some people have 50 to 60 stocks. Some people have just one stock because they have so much high conviction on it. We personally at JST, we have diversified across 5 to 6 sectors. We have 22 stocks. So that risk management is taken care of. ठीक है, मतलब there is not a lot of weight to one single stock or one sector, and at the same time not very less weightage to a certain stock or sector. As simple as that. So Warren Buffett says, right, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. It's a simple strategy we have also followed. We have kept a diversified portfolio. Baki there is no right or wrong answer to this, because people will do what suits them. As simple as that.
Your view on trading in stock markets?
If it makes you money consistently over a long period of time, and you're happy with it, it gives you good sleep, it gives you satisfaction in life, please go ahead and do it. But for me personally, मैंने I think I have just traded once in my life. I never liked it. I was always a proponent of business ownership and I did that. So whatever मतलब जो भी आपको सही लगे, you go ahead and do it. Just again यहाँ पे कोई सही आंसर गलत आंसर नहीं है. And it's not as if मैं investing कर रहा हूँ तो trading गलत है. Right? It's not. कुछ गलत नहीं है market में. Market. So the beauty of markets is that there are 1,000 ways to make money in the market. And trading is of course one of them. So अगर कोई कर रहा है consistently, कोई happy है, let him do it. No other comments.
So just moving back a little bit. So what is our view on IPO analysis? What kind of analysis should we do while applying in a certain kind of IPO? So
See,
some kind of like
yeah.
go-to things which we can consider while applying at IPO.
See, IPO is very close to my heart, number one, because when I started out in the market in 2012, IPOs were the first thing that I relied on, right? So whenever you are applying to IPOs, whenever you are studying an IPO, I would suggest you open up the DRHP, which is the draft red herring prospectus of the company. So I call it the कुंडली of the company because इसमें company के बारे में सारी information दी हुई होती है. मतलब what the company does, इनके financials क्या है, what are the balance sheet, cash flow, profit and loss statements, management के बारे में, peer analysis, industry analysis, capital structure, risk क्या है, इनके SWOT analysis क्या है, इनका basis for offer price क्या है, and a lot of other information. So you can just pick some sections out of this and then you can just scheme read through it. Okay? That will actually tell you if a company is good or not. But let me tell you this, whenever a company is coming and trying to sell its shares, you already know that ठीक है ये लोग महंगा ही बेचने वाले हैं. ठीक है, IPOs are euphoric in nature. IPOs हमेशा साथ में ही आते हैं and थोड़ा overpriced nature. They are overpriced in nature most of the times. Very rarely few good companies will come. For example, DMart was there in 2016-17. Which came at a very good price, which left money on the table for investors. So yeah, you have to just keep an eye out for the good ones, which you will come to know only through the DRHP.
Also, what kind of analysis do you do while screening the stocks? We have a lot of stocks in the market. So how do you like come to which kind of benchmark ratio do you actually see? While
to be honest, no ratios, no. So हमारे यहाँ पे सबसे पहले क्वालिटी को वेट दिया जाता है and then only we come to numbers. ठीक है. So let me just put it in one line very simply that we bet on proven market leaders that are led by capable and clean promoters. As simple as that. Baki, it is a very philosophical question because I can speak about it for hours. Okay. Every industry will have different metrics. Every industry will have different metrics to judge the promoter. Every industry will have different financials, different ways to look at them, different setup. So yeah, that one line answer. Promoter को परखो आप. Promoter को परख लिया तो आपका 99% of the job is done. But again, easier said than done.
Right. So let's move to a bit of personal questions. So how a day in your life starts? What kind of work you actually do in the firm? And
yeah, so my day starts at 5:30 or 6 a.m. I'm a very early sleeper. I sleep off at 9:30, 9:40 p.m. I wake up, I work out, I do yoga, I meditate. Then I log in to read news for half an hour or so. Then I'll just freshen up, I'll have my breakfast. Then we have morning meetings, discuss our agendas for the day and the last day that we did. Then I'll do a lot of calls. I will do a lot of marketing. I take care of operations as well. So I'm the client-facing client face for JST. Of course, I have Aditya as well. But yeah, I take care of majority of the calls, meetings, interact with the media, research. So my day as such, ऐसा कुछ decided नहीं होता है because I keep moving around various roles, right? Marketing, operations, sales, writing, research, and any other problem that may have come up or any other thing that needs my attention. So just keep navigating between all of these things. And that's about it. I mean, it's a very exciting day for me क्योंकि कभी-कभार मुझे भी नहीं पता होता है कि क्या करने वाला हूँ मैं आज. तो it's fun.
Right, sir. So take me through your journey of investing. Like you started at 20. So I also like started at 18 and it's now almost 1.52 years. So I look at it like I was like investing in very different way at that time. So could you take me through your journey and how you like improved yourself or go a bit deep on research?
So I did burn my hands in a few stocks, but I made a lot of money as well in some stocks, right? But then I believe that my mistakes were more on the personal finance side, जहाँ पे मैंने insurance नहीं लिया था, मैंने emergency purpose maintain नहीं किया था, मैंने बहुत ज़्यादा डिस्प्रोपोर्शनेट बेट्स ले लिए थे. For example, in 2017-18, I had bet heavily. In fact, 80% of my net worth on a single stock, which was extremely risky. मैंने आगे पीछे देखा नहीं, मैंने सीधा bet कर दिया, which was wrong, of course. बाकी how I kept improving myself as an investor is that I spent more time in the markets. I saw these events get unfolded. I did not let emotions get the better of me. And of course, thanks to my partners and thanks to books, thanks to experience in the market, I learned a lot. So I have been very lucky to have been exposed to a lot of very patient and business-minded investors. So they imparted a lot of learnings into me. So I would credit everything to them as well. क्योंकि उन्होंने मुझे बहुत अच्छे से सिखाया.
Right, sir. So you talk some of the mistakes that you made, like not taking insurance or emergency fund. So could you take me through the things which we need to like take care before entering
हाँ,
stock market?
yeah.
Emergency fund, so we need to make how many months of emergency fund? So yeah.
So very relevant question, Siddharth, and I sincerely hope everybody listens to this very carefully. So the moment, before you put even a single rupee in the markets, make sure that you have your own health insurance. अगर आपके कंपनी का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस है तो डोंट से दैट मेरे को और एक हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, बिल्कुल भी गलत बात है वो. यू हैव टू हैव योर ओन पर्सनल हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस. Term insurance you would not need it immediately because your parents would not be dependent on you. So simple bhasha mein term insurance is the liability of your death that is being assumed by the insurance company. So unfortunately अगर कुछ आपको हो जाता है तो जो sum insured है वो आपके फैमिली मेंबर्स पे डिपेंडेंट्स को दी जाएगी, ठीक है, if you have a term insurance. बट टर्म इंश्योरेंस की आपको एकदम यंग एज पे जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. द एक्सेप्शन बीइंग दैट अगर आपके ऊपर कोई डिपेंडेंट्स है या फिर आपने कोई लायबिलिटीज लेकर रखी है. सो टर्म इंश्योरेंस के दो कंडीशंस होते हैं. यू शुड बाय अ टर्म इंश्योरेंस इफ नंबर 1 you are the sole breadwinner of your family. Number 2, you have some liabilities in your name. So why do we buy a term insurance when we have liabilities? Because अगर मान लो आपको कुछ हो जाता है तो आपकी liabilities के कारण किसी और को फर्क नहीं पड़ना चाहिए फाइनेंशियली, राइट? सो यू टेक केयर ऑफ दैट थ्रू द टर्म इंश्योरेंस. ये दो चीजें हो गई. बाकी you maintain an emergency corpus. Now as the name suggests, it is a corpus made for emergencies. You can start off by creating 1 month of your expense or income as an emergency corpus, then slowly build it up to 6 months, 12 months, 24 months. Again, personal finance में कैसा है ना, the name personal is very important because ये सारी चीजें ना सारे लोग के लिए अलग अलग मीनिंग करती है, राइट? सो फॉर समवन लाइक मी, मेरे लिए 12 मंथ का इनकम इज अ गुड इमरजेंसी पर्पस. किसी और के लिए 6 महीने का होगा, किसी और के लिए 3 महीने का होगा, बिकॉज दे नो देमसेल्व्स वेरी वेल, राइट? सो दे हैव टू क्रिएट इट. So health insurance, term insurance, emergency corpus, make sure that you have a proper asset allocation. For example, if you are going to retire in 2-3 years and you have everything of your wealth in equity, then it's a no go, because equity is high risk high return and equity does not work to your timing. आप बोलोगे कि चलो मैं अभी 1 साल बाद विड्रॉ करूंगा जब मार्केट 10% ऊपर जाएगा, तो हो सकता है कि मार्केट कैन गो डाउन 50% नेक्स्ट ईयर, राइट? सो कैसा है कि एसेट एलोकेशन इज एक्सट्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट. For a young guy, he can put everything into equity. For a mid-age guy, he can put 60 to 70% in equity, 30% in debt products, so that he has a fair mix of wealth preservation and wealth creation. So asset allocation will of course depend on your age and your risk appetite and your goals. ठीक है. So ये 3-4 चीजों का आप ध्यान रखोगे तो then you are good to go in the markets. ऐसा नहीं कि you're just going Rambo, you're just become, मतलब you just go ballistic on investing in the markets, right? कुछ चीजों का आप ध्यान रखोगे तभी आपका इन्वेस्टिंग जर्नी विल बी हैसल फ्री. नहीं तो ऐसा होगा कि आप सारा कुछ मार्केट में डाल दो एंड देन आपको कोई इमरजेंसी आ गई तो हो सकता है कि आपको ये सारे शेयर्स डिस्काउंट में बेचना पड़े, राइट? सो दैट इज समथिंग वी डोंट वांट. वी वांट दैट आवर बिजनेसेस शुड कंपाउंड ईयर ऑन ईयर फॉर डेकेड्स, एंड इमरजेंसी कॉर्पस हैज बीन केप्ट असाइड फॉर दैट पर्पस कि अगर कोई अनसर्टेनिटी आ गई लाइफ में तो यू कैन मीट इट थ्रू ऑल ऑफ दिस एक्सपेंसेस, हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, टर्म इंश्योरेंस, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा.
Right, sir. So I now want to talk about your philosophy of money, how you look at money, and what is your vision in life with the firm and on your personal level. Do you want to like continue in this field, and do you believe in the narrative that finance is going to change in the future and it's going to be decentralized or DeFi is taking on? So yeah, could you tell them?
So कैसा ना सिद्धार्थ, so I live in a field, right? I work in a field that changes every day, to be honest. ठीक है. So change मतलब literally stock market में रोज कुछ ना कुछ change हो रहा है, ठीक है? Stock prices change हो रहे हैं, narratives change हो रहे हैं, companies change हो रही है, leaders of course leaders may not change overnight, but हाँ, narratives regarding leaders are also changing overnight, right? कुछ ना कुछ हो रहा है कहीं ना कहीं रोज, ठीक है, कुछ ना कुछ तो नया है ही. बाकी पर्सनल लेवल पे ऑफ कोर्स आई वुड लव टू वर्क इन दिस फील्ड बिकॉज I, like I said, I really enjoy my work. If you would have seen that, I'm extremely passionate about the stock markets. I visit the Bombay Stock Exchange every year. I do my Diwali Puja there, in fact. So I'm extremely passionate about the market because it has given me an identity. Baki vision for the firm, of course, we would want it to be an AMC going forward, asset management company, probably with 1 lakh crores of AUM or more. And personally, my philosophy with money is that, so like I said, for us at one point of time, our financial situation was extremely bad. Today, of course, it is much better. It's good, in fact. We are comfortable where we are. But again, my philosophy with money is that, the moment I get it, I would save and invest a good part of it and then spend the rest and then keep some in liquid funds. I'm not really someone who is running behind money right now. I know that money may follow eventually, but yeah, we just want to be truthful. We just want to be honest, and we just want to make money for clients. If clients make money, we make money. As simple as that. Nothing else to it.
Right. So I forgot to ask this question earlier. So how do you build like credibility in this space, like portfolio management space? So clients' credibility is a major factor, right? So
returns, as simple as that. So credibility is built on the basis of returns, as simple as that. You show your knowledge to the clients, you show your returns to the clients, and that's the biggest form of marketing. That is why we at JST, we have never done any push kind of marketing. We have always done pull kind of marketing, and that's why if you see, most of our clients that have come to us have come through because of our articles, our threads, our podcasts, our videos, etc., etc. Yeah.
So at the start, what returns did you show to your clients? So how did it all started? Like,
yeah. See, in the start, of course, we started out from our close circle. We made good returns on them, and then slowly got built upon that. As simple as that. And it's not, and I'll tell you this as well. And it's just not returns as well. Number two, showing your research, showing that these are the things in the market, and explaining them to them in a very simple manner, coupled with the fact that you do good customer service also plays a very big role. So we have done a lot of work on the second and third part as well, not just returns. So yeah.
Right. So just to end the session, any advice that you want to give to a 20-year-old or 19-year-old, combining with any recommendations, books, podcast, or any kind of tools that you use, apps or something?
So books ka list, so it's a very long, Siddharth, to be honest. I read 52 books last year. Before that, I read 34 books. So I'll just pass on the links to you. You can share it in the YouTube videos. But some of my favorite ones, if I had, was Atomic Habits, Psychology of Money, late Parag Parikh sir's all books, Timeless, Value Investing and Behavioral Finance, Stocks to Riches. In fact, go ahead and watch all of his old videos as well. I think this should get you started. Baki ka to business you can keep reading for leisure. But yeah, all of these books are really great for someone who wants to read about money, habits, and markets. And once you have read all of these books, then I would strongly recommend Dr. Vijay Malik, who is like the best equity research analyst of our country. He literally tears apart these companies and he literally lays forward all the aspects of the company. So it's amazing. Like they call him Mr. Doctor of Stocks, and rightly so, because he properly does an autopsy of the company. So yeah.
And any advice that you want to give to a 20?
Yeah. So advice to a 20-year-old, see yaar, kaisa hai na, aajkal, thanks to internet again, there's a lot of pressure कि तुमको ये बनना है, तुमको वो बनना है. See, honestly speaking, मुझे तो पता नहीं था कि मैं I'll end up here today as a owner of my own startup or a co-founder or a CEO, right? Just some things take time. You have to experiment. Fail bhi honge, it's fine. Don't fall into the narrative traps. See, every one of us is unique. So play to your uniqueness. Up enhance karo apna uniqueness, right? Don't be like मुझे इसके जैसा बनना है, मुझे उसके जैसा बनना है. Be yourself. Keep getting 1% better version of yourself every day. So this is coming from a person who at his 19 or 20s was very confused in life. A person who was constantly trying to become like someone else. So I used to think, अरे ये बंदा कितना smart है, इसके जैसा बनना है. then I realized that I can be a better version of myself. So be that, right? Because you are unique. There's only one of you, right? So play to that advantage. And baki life ke dots will always connect looking forward. So don't worry. Don't rush things. Uh, Good things take their own time. And baki don't just deviate. Try to create wealth, and let that wealth create wealth on its own. So invest. Think like a long-term business owner. Research karo, so that you also learn, and that and you ensure the fact that आपके investments are in good companies, and all of these skills will take you very ahead in life. I can guarantee you that. Yeah.
Right, sir. Thank you so much for very insightful for me, and I hope so the same for the viewers. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Siddharth, for your time, and thanks for listening in.